Financial intelligence. Do you have it? In this video, we're going to find out. Hey, what's up, clever investors? Sperber here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Super excited that you're here. And yes, baby, we are inside the new recording studio. As you can see, I got these fancy screens behind me. We got the podcast center over there. I'll give you a tour once it's fully completed. We're about 95% of the way there. But this is our first video in here, and we're going to be talking about financial intelligence. Do you have it? I'm going to give you some of my best tips and tricks that I've learned along the last 20 years building an insane amount of wealth through creative real estate and investing in different assets. And I think it's really important because a lot of people don't have these kind of conversations with their kids or with each other. So let's just dive right in. First and foremost, the core foundation of having financial intelligence, and probably the number one thing you got to focus on, goes back to kind of that rich dad, poor dad concept of focus on building assets and limiting liabilities, okay? That's like the core foundation for financial intelligence. When you focus on building assets, it's important to understand what that means. It means buying buildings. It means real estate. It means things that produce cash flow, that bring in more money than you have to put out over time, right? It's an actual investment. The house you live in isn't an actual investment, right? Because it's costing you money. But a rental property that, let's say you buy a fourplex and it's paying you cash flow every month, even if one of the tenants moves out, you still got 3 more people paying. If your debt is down here and your income's up here, you got cash flow, that's an asset, right? If you're solely focused on just getting a job and earning income, okay, that's the rat race, right? That's how you get trapped, because of taxes and the fact that there's inflation. You never can get ahead. You cannot outwork inflation and taxes. You can't save your way to wealth. It's impossible. So you really got to focus on getting a good job, maybe multiple jobs in the beginning, living below your means, creating as much income as you can, and then investing that into different assets so you can create additional streams of passive investment income. That's the key. You got your earned income over here, worst tax bracket, rat race, never quite being able to get out of it because of taxes and inflation and expenses. Whereas if you have your investment income that's passive over here, now your money is working for you. So that's the foundation. The next financial intelligence tip is to invest wisely. Investing in the stock market, real estate, and other financial products can be a great way to grow your wealth. Here's the key though. You got to educate yourself so you know how to invest wisely, how to use leverage, how to leverage your way into different investments to maximize your returns. A lot of people wing it in the beginning when it comes to investing, right? Winging it's not a strategy. If you watch me on my social channels, I say that all the time because I winged it in the beginning and I got burned because I didn't understand how to invest wisely. I thought just investing was the key. No, it's investing wisely. That leads me perfectly into this next tip, which is don't be afraid to take risks, but not just any type of risks. It's important to weigh up the potential outcomes before making an investment decision, and taking risks is going to be part of achieving success in business and in investing. But here's the thing, it's calculated risks. You see, when you're constantly self-educating yourself and you become obsessed with understanding the risks involved of how to find a deal, analyze a deal, put the financing structure together in a way that makes sense, now you're taking calculated risks. That's the kind of risks you want to take, not just risk. All right? All right, next tip. And this one's super important. I got burned on this in the beginning. Consider taxes. So boring. Taxes are so boring, but it's so important to understand them because you got to be aware of how tax laws can impact your investments. And you got to be able to take advantage of deductions available to investors where possible. So let me just open this up a little bit because this is probably the most important thing that you're going to get from this video. And by the way, if you like these kind of conversations, smash the like button and hook a brother up with some comments so we can hack the algorithm. You'll be doing me a favor. I'll give you tax tips and investing advice, and you smash a like button. It's a good trade-off. All right, tax tips. You got to take advantage of deductions. real estate owners are generally entitled to a range of tax deductions. So it's important to familiarize yourself with the deductions available and be aware of how they can impact your taxes, right? So you got to sit down and talk to somebody about this stuff. Also, you want to keep records. Ensure that you have detailed records for all your rental properties, including monthly income, expenses, repairs, maintenance costs, as well as any improvements or renovation expenses incurred throughout the year. Don't forget depreciation. Most property owners are eligible to take advantage of depreciating their assets. Depreciation deductions that come from depreciating your assets can provide a substantial tax savings over the long term. Take this building that I'm in right now. I paid a little over $4.5 million for it. I got a massive tax deduction last year because we accelerated the depreciation. All right, and that's a whole strategy you want to talk to your tax team over. But I essentially wiped out $1 million worth of taxes in 1 year against my earned income by just buying this one asset. All right. Next tax tip, incorporate where possible. Consider incorporating your real estate investments in order to reach additional tax benefits that may not be available for individuals. I don't buy real estate or own real estate in my personal name. I own it in different LLCs and different companies. So there is a right way to buy and hold real estate to get maximum deductions. Also, be aware of capital gains and understand capital gains tax strategies. So capital gains are the amount of money you earned after you sell a property. So if you buy it on day zero and you hold it for 5 years and it goes up in value and you pay down the mortgage and all this stuff, you're gonna earn a certain amount of profits. And you can either get long-term or short, geez Louise, I can't talk. Long-term capital gains or short-term capital gains, depending on how long you own it for. And you could also use strategies like a 1031 exchange, or even look into something called opportunity zones when possible, when you're investing in certain places, to see if there's more deductions out there to reduce or defer your taxes on the gains that you earn from selling those real estate investments, all right? Huge advantage. This is how people get really wealthy. Understanding 1031 exchanges, essentially what that is I buy this building, I hold it for, let's say, 10 years, but instead of cashing out when I sell it and taking those profits and getting taxed on those profits, even though it's long-term capital gains, I get taxed on it, it'd be smarter for me to roll it forward into a new, bigger, better investment. By rolling it forward, now I have the power of compounding year over year. It gets my ability to buy a bigger, better asset is a lot larger because I took the profits and rolled it forward. And there's no tax hit until you actually cash out. And here's the cool thing. Imagine you start with the house, then you eventually sell it and you buy a fourplex, and eventually you own that and you sell it, and then you buy a 30 unit, and then eventually you sell that and you buy a 100 unit. Along that journey, you can actually take out a HELOC or a loan against that asset, and you can live off that money or reinvest that money into other things, and that's all tax-free because it's debt. It's not actually income or profits. All right, and like I mentioned earlier, save your receipts. It's really, really important to save all your receipts. I guarantee you're gonna get hammered at some point if you don't save your receipts, all right? So make sure you save everything that you can, so that way when you go to file your taxes, you can give your accountants and your bookkeepers every single thing possible so they can deduct all of your expenses. All right, and lastly, and this is really important, okay? This is more of a financial intelligence tip. Consult with a professional. It's always a good idea to consult with an experienced tax professional. They can provide insights of how to best structure your transactions. So a lot of times, if I'm buying a big asset, I'm sitting down with my team ahead of time to make sure I understand what type of deductions that they can apply for various situations of how I buy these assets. All right, let's go back to some financial intelligence tips. It's so important for you to shift out of like a employee mindset. You got to shift over to an entrepreneurial mindset. You got to approach your finances with this kind of a mindset. All right, you got to be able to try new things. You got to be able to get creative and think about new ways to generate additional income. Be able to cut costs in your life. When you come from an entrepreneurial mindset, you're creative. You're the underdog. You're somebody that has grit. right? It's not like I'm just working just enough to get my paycheck. No, you gotta figure things out. You're gonna have hurdle after hurdle after hurdle, and you have to overcome those at all costs. You cannot quit, you cannot deviate, you can't be a little, you know what? You just have to stay the course. And I think this is really important. Along your journey as an investor or as an entrepreneur, you have to learn and practice building the muscle of tracking your progress. All right? Monitor your progress against financial goals so that way you have a very clear understanding of where you're at all times, and you can adjust your strategies to make sure that you're going from point A to point B and you're getting there as fast as possible. So that way, not only do you see where you're at, but more importantly, you can do this again and again. You can have better results in the future when you track they're called KPIs in business, key performance indicators. If you have a financial plan and you're going off track, your KPIs will tell you, you can get back on track, and then once you do it one time, you can do it again and again. And the last thing I want to say is plan for success. Visualize success. Embody a success mindset. The word for 2023 is winnergy. All right, winnergy. You got to have a winner's mindset. You got to spend time thinking about what success looks like for you. It's different for every single person. Some people, it's Rolls Royces and yachts and babes in bikinis. Other people, it's like, oh man, I just want freedom. I don't want to have any debt. I want freedom. For other people, it has nothing to even do with them. They just want to pay their bills and be comfortable so that way they can serve and help others in passionate things that they're passionate about when it comes to serving the world. All right? Plan for success. When you track your KPIs, you're going to develop specific steps for being able to hit those goals, and that way you can stay focused, motivated along the way. And the last thing I'll even say on the success thing is it helps when you surround yourself with other success-minded people. It's really hard to have a success mindset when you're in a toxic, negative environment. Go watch some of my other videos. I might even put one or two of them down in the links down below that are more personal development, motivational minded type of conversations, because I think those will help you keep that success mindset. What do you guys think? Did you guys get some good value out of this? I hope so. Hey, good news about this whole entire video that I just shot while I do embody all of these tips and tricks. I just went into ChatGPT and said, hey, let's talk, give some success tips and tax tips for real estate investors, and look what it spit out. Go watch some of my other ChatGPT videos while you're at it and really understand the power of artificial intelligence. This is how you can build a great personal brand, sound like an expert, and completely dominate your content creation. And yeah, hopefully you got something from this. Until next time, I'm out of here. Take care, comb your hair. Peace.